Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to share this guest interview with you. Chris and I spoke to Teresa Cutter, also more famously known as the Healthy Chef. If you haven't heard of her, I don't know where you've been in the last decade. It was definitely a fangirl moment when Teresa said yes to coming on to our podcast. So back 12 years ago when I started my own healthy eating journey as the first point of call into trying to heal my body, Teresa's recipes quickly became my go-to for transitioning from processed to whole food. So not only are her recipes really simple and easy and nourishing, but they're also super delicious. I have her newest cookbook, Simple Healthy Recipes, which is literally my Bible of all cookbooks. I can highly recommend it. And as you'll hear soon when we start chatting to Teresa, that she has graciously given us 3 copies of her new cookbook to give away to listeners. So make sure you head over to our Instagram profile to enter the giveaway. A bit about Teresa Cutter. So she is a classically trained chef over 20 years. She's a nutritionist, fitness trainer, and the founder of The Healthy Chef. She is a household name in Australia and around the globe and is a renowned wellness expert. Teresa Cutter is also the author of 10 best-selling healthy cookbooks, nutritional recipes, and she has also created the Healthy Chef range of beautiful, pure, natural supplements, including protein and collagen. Teresa's recipes have been featured in Time magazine in the USA, the Sydney Morning Herald, Daily Telegraph, and Delicious Magazine. And she's also appeared on numerous TV shows, including The Today Show, Sunrise, The Morning Show, Studio 10, and The Biggest Loser Australia. So you can kind of see why I'm so excited to have Teresa on our podcast today. We really dig into all things healthy eating in context of body burnout and using food as medicine, and also different supplements to support energy, mood, gut issues. And Teresa also gives us so many great tips around making healthy eating simple. So excited to share this episode with you today.
Welcome everybody to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are really excited to have our special guest on today's podcast episode, Teresa Cutter. I am excited because
Chris got me a birthday present.
I did.
Oh, here we go. It's in both. Anyone on YouTube, I'm holding up Teresa's Bible. It's massive. I know all your cookbooks are massive, but this is so special. So Simple Healthy Recipes, and I've been cooking along with Teresa for the last 12 years. So I'm just really very grateful that you said yes to coming onto our podcast today, and I can't wait to ask you all the questions.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Simple Healthy Recipes.
Can I say why I this specific reason why I bought Teresa's book for you?
Yeah.
Because it's pretty. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's such a cool looking book. We've just recently published a book as well. And so I'm noticing cool, pretty books everywhere I go. And yours is awesome. It looks great. I was excited. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good doing the whole creative process. And did you guys do all the design and all that sort of stuff in the book as well?
We didn't do all of it. We did.
Oh no, we
had a
did
bit
like
of
all the graphics and stuff.
Oh,
yeah, I mean we had help
didn't-
back and forth
yeah.
with the graphic designer for sure.
It was had our hand on it.
Yeah.
But the cover was like graphic designer mostly.
Well, you know, we're sharing
Bit
the
of both.
ideas of what we want it to look like.
Okay, that's true.
It's a nice creative process, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
The other thing I wanted to show you was there are a lot of pink tabs in the book at the moment. So my daughter Poppy, who is almost 12, she does not like cooking or cleaning or, you know, anything kind of like slightly domesticated.
To do with work.
But she has devoured your book. Like literally she just looked through all of the pretty pictures and she decided she's doing a fundraiser at the moment for a youth trip she's going on, and she chose to cook all the things from your book to sell.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
she's
fantastic.
Yeah, not all the things, just like the biscuits and some of the breads. And so she's selling Teresa Cutter's products at the moment.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That is so cool. That's and that's what I want to do. I want to inspire people to get back into the kitchen, just cook, change it up a little bit. You know, you need to change a few ingredients, you know, and so be it. But yeah, just cook and have.
Yeah, and I love how yummy they are and also really simple. Like I made the tahini cookies the other day and so good, and everyone loved them.
Yeah,
Do
I
you love
know,
those
just a few
ones?
simple ingredients. Oh, so
They were
good.
Teresa's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're great.
There you go. Oh, I'm so glad you loved the book, guys. Yeah, it was such a great project to work on. It was basically I'll actually do the recipe. Hubby will take the photo and he'll taste test it to see whether it's worthy or not, whether it makes the book.
Awesome.
And then it makes the book or not, or gets thrown in the bin. But most of the time it makes the book.
So cool. Now talking about the cookbook, just right at the start, if listeners jump over to either your or my Instagram profiles, we are doing a giveaway. 3 lucky people will receive a book. So make sure you jump over there. In the week of this podcast being released, which will be 2nd of July.
Wait, before we go on,
Yeah.
your husband's a taste tester. What a great job that would be. Like, by the way, that would be amazing. I love that as a job description.
You know,
Envious.
Chris, it's fantastic because he's got a really lovely, nice, subtle palate. You know, it's not too extreme on either end. It's nice and balanced. So, you know, like I don't know, I like his balanced palate. So
Nice.
he's, you know, so he tells me whether it's good or too spicy or too hot or whatever. And, you know, I'll adjust it based on what he thinks, you know, because if he comes back, well, that's good. You know, I need to make it a second and third time as well. So, yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
good.
That's cool.
Nice.
Now, I find that a lot of people who move into the healthy eating space often have their own health issues that you have used the food as medicine to really overcome. Are you happy to start there in terms of, I know that you had gut issues, immune system issues growing up as an adult.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Look, it started off like really, really early on. You know, when I was 2-3 years old, even. I remember, you know, I've always suffered from chronic constipation, slow bowel transit, and all of that from when I was very, very young. I even remember my great grandmother putting little soap suppositories, you know, in my behind, you know, all that sort of stuff, you know, living off castor oil, all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
So had pneumonia numerous times when I was very young, and so my immune system was pretty shot. I think, you know, you sort of, you know, I think you're in that search through the rest of your life, I suppose, to try and find a solution, or even not a solution, but a way to balance all those symptoms and to move forward and just improve your health and well-being, basically. So I've tried pretty much, you know, tried everything, and that I think that's what inspired my journey towards what I do now, you know, in whether it's in the fitness industry, to whether it's cooking better, and learning to balance that food, exercise, rest, that triangle that I keep going on about. with everything. It's all that balance, wisdom, moderation, and so forth. Yeah.
So with the gut issues, if we kind of dig into that side of things, because I know that a lot of our listeners and also clients have a lot of gut issues. It's often comes with body burnout because your system gets stuck in fight, flight, shuts down the gut. How did you heal from that in terms of just supporting bowel motions, the gut stuff, the immune stuff?
Yeah, look, I think, in the earlier days, it was just even, I pretty much saw like 10 gastroenterologists, and every health professional that you see has a different take, and there's not a one size fits all scenario in terms of health. What works for one person may not work for the other person. And when it comes to the gut, yes, I suppose it's the center and for everything, it produces serotonin, it helps with your immune system. You're depressed, it's that whole gut brain axis type of thing. So it's about, I suppose it's for me it was, if I was stressed, it made it even worse, purely because I myself am a highly strung person, and I'm always, it's all or nothing for me. So I'm sure you're the same, Philippa.
It's been a long journey of unraveling those patterns.
Well, it is, and you're so learning to know yourself. There was a time there when I had the Healthy Chef Cafe over in 2006, when I started this amazing cafe in Avalon Beach here in Sydney, and I was really burning out really, really quickly. It was long hours, 18-hour days, 7 days a week, no days off, and I think I had symptoms. I was tired all the time. I wasn't sleeping right. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't, doing anything right. So that whole triangle was all out the door. And there was a stage there where I couldn't move my arms. I had pains down the side of my arm. And I said to my husband, if I don't stop, I'm going to die. This is it. This is it. If I can't keep going on like this. So I think that was a transition for me to slowly step out of the cafe, sell the cafe, because it was just trying to manage too many things. It was amazing. It was an amazing thing that I developed. Obviously, we had, it was one of Sydney's best whole food cafes, made everything from scratch. We had sort of celebs like, Megan Gale, Elle Macpherson, we had Kelly Slater, we had all these big names coming to the cafe all the time. And I was in there working it 24/7, and I'm not a machine. No one is, and you can only go for so long, and there wasn't that nice balance there. So, that allowed me. I think that's inspired me to go, okay, got to step back, got to let other people take control. Slowly made my way of selling the business and starting the Healthy Chef in terms of what we do now, the supplements and whatnot, but learning to be kinder to myself, and I suppose starting a regime of eating better, sleeping better. My immunologist was telling me, Teresa, you're burnt out. You've got no immune system. It's just shot. Your hormones are shot. You've got to include more protein into your diet, which is why protein was the very first thing when I started my supplement brand. Was the very first thing that I bought out, because it's the life. It's the center to healthy immune system. It supports hormones. It builds and sustains lean muscle. It does everything, so many things for the body. And I couldn't actually find a pure form, because I needed both my immunologist and my cardiologist was saying, Teresa, you need like 2 grams per kilo of body weight of protein. You're not getting it. So I had to support that in ways of shakes and whatnot. I suppose that's why I was designing products for myself and also for my husband. Both of us, as I was saying before, both of us are from Perth, And after hitting Sydney, 20 years ago, we've hit the ground running. We haven't stopped since. And, it's like, oh, work, quick, And then obviously it's just, there was no downtime. So anyway, yeah.
With the protein that you were talking about in terms of not being able to get enough, was that because you literally couldn't eat enough or just not absorbing it through the gut because of all the gut issues?
I think both. I think I've always had absorption issues anyway. I remember, I've been having an iron infusion or an iron injection ever since I was 20 because my body just wasn't absorbing what I needed to absorb. And same with the protein. Like when you think of 2 grams per kilo of body weight, that's like almost like 120 grams a day of protein. When you think that like 100 grams of salmon has maybe 20 grams of protein, and how much of that you need every day, or an egg only has like 6 grams. So we learn going, okay, cool. If I just supplement that with at least a shake that has 30 grams, that's good. That's a third of what I need. This is good. I know I've got it. But it is. It's to do with everything. It's to do with what you can get, what you think, and also your absorption issues. And I suppose having food there that's with my other subs, like whether it's magnesium or greens, it's instantly absorbed into the body. Your body doesn't need to digest it. So for me, keeping a sort of like a low residue style of diet because of my gut issues and absorption issues, something that your body didn't need to digest too much was a good thing.
So let's maybe dig into the 3 main symptoms that we see in people running who have body burnout, and they're often running those busy, overwhelmed, fight, flight type patterns of energy, mood and gut issues. So if we go over those 3 symptoms in terms of what do you find is most helpful from a food as medicine, but also from a supplement point of view. So with energy issues, maybe we'll start there.
Yeah, I think, look, for all of them, it's, food and lifestyle therapy is the key. And for me, for all 3, Mediterranean, always a Mediterranean style diet, focus on quality proteins, healthy fats, lots of vegetables. I think you've got to have that as a whole. But for energy, it's that triangle. It's making sure you've got quality protein, you've got healthy fats, you've got vegetables, and you've also got lots of hydration as well. I think for energy, a lot of us, especially now it's winter, you forget to drink water. You may have a few cups of tea and it's freezing, and then you're lacking energy, you're sluggish. Your body hasn't got that hydration to keep things moving. Subs-wise, protein powder, magnesium, B vitamins, CoQ10 helps convert food to energy. Vitamin D, get out in the sun, get some sunshine. Maybe check your iron levels as well, check your hormone levels, and making sure you're getting enough protein, supports blood sugar, metabolism, all of that. So I suppose, and also getting out there and moving and making sure you're getting enough sleep. Always that triangle: food, movement, and some form of rest.
Yeah.
And same with the mood, if you're going into the mood side of things. For me, oily fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, walnuts, chia seeds are fantastic plant-based sources. You've got sesame seeds, which are high in tyrosine. Tyrosine is fantastic for mood health. You've got apple cider vinegar, fermented food, pre and probiotics as well. Kiwi fruit, fantastic, helps. It's a great prebiotic, helps with peristalsis as well. You get probiotics for subs-wise, omega-3, chia seeds. I make this fantastic little chia pudding for husband, which is just, white chia seeds, some protein powder, some water, whiz it up, and it's and cocoa powder. It's this fantastic little chia pod, which is fantastic. It's also fantastic, I suppose, like with the food, about 30% of your brain is made up of omega-3. So you need that. That's fantastic mood food as well. So make sure you do get that omega-3. And also the gut bacteria, 95% of the serotonin is manufactured in the gut. So it's that whole thing. If you're depressed, it's going to affect your gut, maybe. And so many people with gut issues, and like you've got candida. Like a few years ago, I had candida, and I tried. Took a year took a year of sugar-free, making sure that it's making sure you get your bone broth, making sure you nourish your immune system, making sure you're doing all these right things, and it just doesn't go away. And took a lot, in conjunction with some gastroscopies and stuff like that with my gastroenterologist. We got rid of the whole thing, but it took a it's not as that. So
yeah. I like that you mentioned kiwi fruit, which is in one of your products, your supplements. But there's research studies that show that 2 kiwi fruit a day can help with constipation. I'm just like, it's so good. Yeah.
I was telling that to my dad because, like, I love, it's one of my, if you're, for me, being regular and going to the toilet, having that bowel movement, for me, everything for me has been designed to the gut, by the gut. Having slow transit time all through growing up, even now, that's why we have magnesium in our products. That's where, you have a good prebiotic like kiwi fruit, which is fantastic because, it really helps that movement rather than having a bulking type of fiber in your diet that, just bulks it up but doesn't help move it nicely throughout that peristalsis. And I was just saying to Dad, eat a couple of kiwi fruits a day. You're sitting in bed, he's in a nursing home over in Perth, and, and no one moves. They all just lie there and sit there. Get out there, move a little bit, eat a couple of kiwi fruits or your prunes or whatever. And he was amazed, like how just 2 simple things, I'm going every day now, and fantastic because it's high in vitamin C as well, and it's helped producing the good bacteria in the gut. So you eat prebiotics, it's going to help the probiotics, and then everything's just going to help to nourish and move, and you're going to feel fantastic too.
Yeah. Even simple things like
so cool.
I can't do it right now because I can't stand up. But the worm movement with your belly, like you were talking about sleep eating movement, where you're just moving your belly in and out, is also enough just to get that motility happening with the gut. Like it can be such simple things that people can integrate into their day.
Oh yeah. No, it's fantastic. For me, it's all about motility and getting it moving. Yeah.
Now,
Cool.
we work with a lot of people, and I'm sure there's a lot of listeners to body burnout, busy patterns, where that can often show up as perfectionism. And I found this with some clients that have started working with us, that they get so fixated on trying to do everything right, trying to eat perfectly, trying to do the diet or whatever it is, whatever the protocol is. And in trying to do it all right, it actually prevents them from being able to heal. I'm curious around, like, if you've seen that, whether in yourself or other people, and any words of advice to help people move into healthy eating with more ease and flow, as opposed to kind of like fear-based, I need to do it perfectly to get the results.
Yeah, I'm sure you're the same sort of personality. I'm an all or nothing personality. Is that correct? Is Philly the same? I'm sure she is.
I think
I used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like, look, that tendency can pop up sometimes.
I'm probably more that all or nothing than you are. Well, but you're more perfectionist.
The reason why I'm asking this question is because when I started moving into trying to heal my own health issues, and I started working first on nutrition, that I definitely showed up with this perfectionism pattern of I'm going to go sugar-free for 6 months. And I was very good at doing it, but it actually caused my nervous system to be very fight-flighty, even though I was putting beautiful food into my body, but my body wasn't responding to it in the way that it could have.
I think both of us, I think for most of us, like I'm a perfectionist as well, and I think everything's just got to be perfect. And I think you've got to keep that 80-20% approach, 80% fantastic, 20% live a little as well. Just don't become too obsessed about it all, and just learn to relax, balance, wisdom, moderation. It's not perfect. Life isn't perfect, but it's great. It's live on that scale. Do the best you can. I used to think, back in the day, I was into kickboxing. I was into road cycling, bodybuilding, all that sort of stuff. I thought I was a machine and everything had to be perfect. It's taken me a lifetime to think, oh shit, I've got to slow down here. I've got to be kind to myself. It's about being kinder to yourself, learning to take the time off and the days off. But switching off is hard as well. You keep, for me, I keep thinking about work, what I'm going to do, and then, sometimes for me, I've got to step away from that. And when I go home to see dad or family over to Perth, that's where I find I switch off 100%, where I'm looking after looking after dad, or going out or cooking for other people. I can just totally focus on something else other than just work.
Yeah.
And it's good because you're focusing on other things and you're focusing on yourself and you're relaxing as well. But I think for me as well, I've got to have a routine. Most of us, you've got to have that routine of wake up, have some water, go for a walk, get the exercise done, take my subs, have a protein shake. If you program yourself into a system and have that, at least a bit of that morning routine, you're set for the day. Without a routine, I fall over.
That morning routine can be really helpful too, whether you're someone who might be an all or nothing, got to do everything right, or the other side where it's like, I really actually struggle doing anything for myself. That when you can do the important things first, well, generally it sets you up for a better day anyway.
Yeah, I think so. I think if I've got to, for me, I've got to set that, maybe it's a couple of hours in the morning for me, I've got to do some sort of movement, whether it's a walk or a bit of a bike ride or something like that. I feel so much better. And then I, have a good brekkie or a protein shake or whatever I do. And then that sort of sets me up for the day, and I'm a happy girl. I'm calm and relaxed. I'm not a nightmare. And then my husband doesn't have to spend half the time outside of the house because I'm just too unbearable.
That sounds familiar sometimes. Another pattern that a lot of listeners have, you're feeling really busy and time poor. And I love your philosophy around eating and eating healthy. So you're a big advocate for simple, healthy eating. What are your best tips for someone who might not yet be eating whole foods healthy? They're trying to transition, but they're just really struggling. And it's so much easier just to grab some baked beans or to drive through McDonald's. What are your best tips?
My best tips are, I look, keep it simple, keep it fresh, make it yourself, and know what's in the food you eat. I never, ever, ever trust anybody cooking food for me. I know.
Even if you came to my house?
Hey, look, I would, because I know you'd be putting love into the food.
Yeah.
It just really depends. But if I go to a restaurant and whatnot, I might have a bit of a pick here and there. But, honestly, you don't know what oils they've used. It could be rancid oils. You don't know where the food's come from unless you know the person or whatever. But if someone cooks food and, and they're miserable and tired, that energy goes into the food, I think, For me, I know if I'm cooking my own food, I know where the ingredients are coming from. I know how it's processed. I know the oils I'm using, and I'm putting all this love in my food. I know when I was when I had the cafe, and there were days, there's a few days there where I was like, oh my God, I'm burnt out. Oh, I'm crying, all this sort of stuff. And I was feeling sorry for myself. And my muffins didn't rise because, and maybe that was because the energy was there, or because I forgot to put baking powder in it or whatnot. I'm not quite sure why.
Yeah.
But, it shows in the food and how you create it. So it's keeping it simple as well. A lot of us, when we cook, we've got to add all these things to our food, and have a pantry full of ingredients that, all these spices and herbs. But I just like to keep it really, really simple, keep the ingredients simple, keep it clean, fresh, make it yourself. And, and there's no MSG, and, it's made with love for you and to nourish. I normally have 2 or 3 simple recipes that I go to as well. In regards to my cooking, I might make some beautiful tuna fritters with a tin of tuna. You've got to try that. It's in the book.
Is it in the new one? Yeah. Okay. We'll be making it tonight.
Look, it's just a tin of tuna. Maybe you put some spring onions, or you put some other things in there. Maybe, you put an egg through that, or, a handful of rice or whatnot. You just fry them on the stove and have it with a nice leafy salad or some steamed broccoli. It's fantastic. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and you just got to keep it simple. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it. And I've got 2 stories to share that are funny. They just reminded me as Teresa was talking. Yep, you go.
Teresa, I find my greatest challenge in the kitchen is stress, anxiety, frustration, annoyance, fear, speed, hurry, go, do, now, get it done, cook the food, eat the food. Energy. Now I can do more stuff.
But then you eat. But then you don't want to eat the food because you're so stressed.
Because I'm all shut down.
Yeah, it's so weird.
My energy is so depleted. So you would definitely not like to eat my food, because you're just like, you'd look at it, you'd be like, "Where's the love in this, Chris?" I'd be like, "I'm so
I would not
sad.
eat your food. No, I couldn't eat. No, I couldn't.
How can I make the switch? Like, what's a? I love what you wrote. I wrote. Keep it simple, make it fresh, make it yourself, put some love into it.
Make it yourself. And that's actually right. To me, cooking is meditation and like relaxing. Every time I do feel, guys, I'll start baking or doing something and relaxing, because I know it's meditative for me. But cooking's lovely. I love to put on some beautiful French music. Put some music on in the background, it's chilling, relaxing, and I'll just, stir a few things. And if you're time poor, a lot of us are time poor, we've got 10 minutes, you can cook a great meal in 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, like the tuna fritters I've got. Like, I've also in the book, I've got this beautiful one, fish in summer sauce, where it's just a piece of fish in a tomato-based sauce, making a napolitana. It's braised in about 10 minutes, happy days. I've got this amazing ratatouille, genius ratatouille, where you've got your capsicum, zucchini, red onions, and tomato. And from that one beautiful dish that you've got, you can make 5 recipes. You can slowly braise it. From that, you can make a shashushka and put eggs in it. You can stir beans or tuna through that. You can put pasta through it. You can make it into a cottage pie or a lasagna or whatnot. You can make into a soup. Or if you've got some leftover veggies in the fridge, bang it in and make a frittata, in 10, 15 minutes. You don't have to have it be a gourmet chef with lots of ingredients, and just keep it chilled. Have a nice glass of Pinot and have a dance around the kitchen.
You can go naked if you want.
What the heck? So, well, that makes it weird. What I was about to say, I was like, if I was at your house cooking with you, I was about to say that.
Clothes on.
That's weird, Phil. So, and you just looked at me and you were just like, Chris, like, you look stressed. What would be your advice to somebody who maybe is similar to me, that maybe cooking hasn't traditionally been a joy, what would be your advice?
So if you were stressed and you've been in my kitchen, I might just get you doing something like, you can stay to the side. I might give you a nice glass of wine, just a little pot where you could just stir, and in a meditative motion, you could just stir and sip. And then I'd keep you there in the corner stirring and sipping while I do the rest of the stuff. But yeah, I think, you guys should come over for dinner one day if you're in Sydney next time.
That'd be awesome.
We are actually coming in July.
Oh,
maybe we all cook, and we all put it on this podcast, and we'll do it, and we'll do it.
that'd be super cool.
We'll do a dinner party and see how it all goes with the three of us in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we'll cook something awesome for the guys, for the viewers.
I'll be in the corner stirring the pot. I'll be like,
I love that you shared that though, because I've kind of said similar things to Chris, but he hasn't received it. But I say this with love because Chris used to hate the ocean, like with a vengeance. But
this is true.
You've been able to flip the switch for that to be really healthy and joyful and wonderful. So when you make the choice that you want to flip the switch, you can enjoy cooking.
Yeah, I think the more
talking to the listeners, but also Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, honestly, Chris, the more you do it, the more you enjoy it. Like I was saying before, my husband has not cooked for over 30 years. And like he tries sometimes to get into the kitchen. I can't handle it because he's so slow and he gets stressed out. And then I feel like Marco Pierre White, and I want to yell and, scream at him and everything else. Like, no, you're too slow. What are you doing? And I push him to the side. So I think he's very good at stirring, and
stirring.
Mashing potatoes. That's it.
That is so funny.
I'm a bit of a tyrant in the kitchen sometimes. I don't yell too much. I'm not a yeller, but but I expect a little bit. I was trained in the French tradition, like a traditional chef does. So I used to lots of French chefs yelling and screaming at me, married and throwing pots and pans at the wall and everything else. But, that was the beginning.
I have two little stories to share. One, when you were talking about the muffins and the it's like, oh, maybe I just didn't put the bicarb in. Maybe potentially Chris has some past trauma because the one time you probably first made something for our children, he put a tablespoon of bicarb instead of a teaspoon into the pancakes.
The funny thing is I quadrupled the recipe, so it was 4.
And to this day, that was years ago. Like our girls would have been babies and toddlers, but to this day they still remember. They're like, Dad, never make us pancakes ever again.
I put a packet of bicarb into the pancakes.
Look, it's easily done. The bicarb thing happens to a lot of people. I remember when I had the cafes, I had a little apprentice chef. He put a cup of bicarb because he thought it was flour.
Oh no.
And these muffins exploded.
Amazing.
That is so funny. So funny.
We won't go there yet. Bicarb, it's very strong. Like I think, probably about a quarter of a teaspoon of bicarb is worth 2 teaspoons of baking powder, for instance. So,
yeah, huge. And the other thing is, like you were talking about, a lot of the recipes in your book are quick and easy and simple, which I just love. One recipe that I made the other day for Chris's birthday was the rice pudding cake.
That's delicious.
Totally didn't read that it takes a little bit of time though, because you need to cook the rice and then it cools down and then you cook the cake. So we ended up just having pudding, but it was still delicious.
Doesn't matter. Just really the rice pudding. To me, I love rice. It's one of those comforting things with this rice. I just now cooked a pot of jasmine rice where I can, if I wanted to, I could have that. I can, make it into a congee later on, or I could, quick meal is that, and fold through some tin tuna and some green peas, and you have that with a bit of soy on the side. You can do lots of things with rice. I love it. comforting.
It is. Actually, I was having the rice pudding for breakfast too, the one in your book that should be the cake, but it was just like, this just is so nice. I put a little bit of extra turmeric and some chia seeds and a bit of almond milk, and it was just divine.
Yeah, it's comfort food. Beautiful.
Yeah. Now, I love treats. I think you love my treats when I cook them.
I love anything.
They make me happy. I actually would say I'm an emotional eater because I just love food makes me happy, but I choose food that are nourishing and is good for me. So I'm okay to be an emotional eater. What are because I've made lots of your cookies and cakes and desserts. If you could name the top 3 of your like sweet treats that everyone raves about, what would they be?
Okay, top 3, easy. First one would be my gluten-free banana bread. I think that's the rock star of everything. Then it would be my gluten-free carrot cake with my yogurt frosting. And then the third one would be the world's healthiest chocolate cake with olive oil and whatnot. I think all 3 have semi sort of featured in all my books in some way, with a different name, because I changed the name, but purely because they're such staples of what I do and what I've known for, and I might tweak it slightly, and then maybe a little bit more olive oil here or a bit more cocoa powder there, just to slightly refine it. But they make each edition, and my husband's going, but you've already done this recipe. I'm going, no, but this has got another half a teaspoon of this in it, or a little bit more of orange zest. So I'm going to change the name now. It's going to be different, and I've made a little tweak here and there.
Awesome.
Choc Jaffa cake instead of choc cake.
Yeah, so it is in Simple Healthy Recipes, in the world's healthiest chocolate cake is one of the chocolate cake recipes. It's in there anyway, with the beautiful avocado and beautiful coconut yogurt frosting. The gluten-free carrot cake is in there as well, with the beautiful figs on top, and so is the gluten-free banana bread, but it's the skillet banana bread in the pan with the nice bananas on top. You can have pudding as well, but they're the top 3.
Nice. I made you choc banana one the other week too. That was good.
Oh, that was Teresa's as well.
Yeah. Everything's Teresa's. Nice. Chris doesn't realize that he's just eating all of your recipes all the time.
Oh, guys, we've got to cook together one day. I'm excited to cook together.
That'd be so good.
Your husband and I can be the official taste testers.
Just there like doing the stirring.
And pot stirrers.
I don't know. You might actually. Sorry. Am I good in the kitchen?
No. I was going to ask Chris. Can you clean? Are you a good cleaner? Do you scrub the pots?
He can.
I can.
You can scrub the pots.
Done.
Question. Because I was just thinking you might find me annoying to cook with because I'm definitely not a perfectionist when it comes to cooking. I'm just kind of like chuck that one in and chuck that one in on the rest of that. Are you like that, or are you a bit more like it has to be very measured?
I'm definitely take it. I'm not a measurer. Look, when you do obviously cakes and things, it's got to be weighed out and measured to a certain extent, because it's such a chemistry thing with baking and desserts. But with normal cooking, I sort of I have a look in the fridge and go, okay, I'm going to be frugal here. What have I got? I've got a little bit of this, bit of that. I might make whatever I've got in the fridge frittata. I'm trying to be frugal now. I've got a tin of black beans, tonight's dinner that I might make. I'm making some beautiful nacho beans or black bean nachos with some sweet potato. So I'm very much whatever I've got in the fridge, I'll make. And then, even if I've got a few eggs, I'll make something from that.
Yeah. I think that's nice from a environmental point of view too, that it's like, whatever's in the fridge or the cupboard, let's use it and make something wonderful.
I'm one of those people who likes to just use everything. So you open the fridge and there's nothing, literally, that there might be a tub of yogurt and a few condiments and some olive oil and some mustard, and I'll just go, okay, right, I've got some frozen peas in here, I've got a jar of tuna, and I'll just make something from that. And husband's got to just like it or lump it.
He doesn't have to cook, so.
No, he doesn't. And he doesn't like that. If he's, he can have a protein shake.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming onto our podcast. Is there any last bits of advice for anyone who's listening that is feeling a bit stuck, burnt out, like first steps?
I think there are two things. I think if you follow I've got it in the front cover of my cookbook, actually. In there, you guys can read it there.
Ah, yes.
It's eat well, move daily, hydrate often, sleep lots, and love your body. That's the saying for everything. If you just try and do something like that every day, don't make it complicated. Be kind to yourself and take it one step at a time. And don't try and do everything at once. Just take it one day at a time. And, and do the best you can. And for me, it's keeping a balanced 80-20 approach and, making sure to take that time out. I like to have some quiet time for myself, not talk to anybody, just have some time with me.
Yeah, I'm the same. Don't like talking to people. No, just kidding.
What?
It's nice. It's nice to be able to just recharge and disconnect, to connect with yourself.
Yeah, go for a nice walk, have a bit of a think, go out in the sunshine, or, if it's freezing cold, that's fantastic too. Just wear a raincoat, and off you go.
Yeah, so good. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier for the listeners, Teresa is kindly, lovingly, generously giving away 3 books to celebrate this podcast episode. So I'm so excited. So jump over to either one of our Instagram feeds. And if anyone wants to grab your cookbooks, check out your supplements and all the other amazing resources that you have, where's the best place for people to find that?
Yeah, well, just go on to thehealthychef.com. And they can have a look at the cookbooks, they can look at the supplements, they can check out some other recipes if they want to as well. Look, we've even got a end of year financial sale on right now, so everything's up to 30% off. So they can even the cookbook as well, so they can grab one of these.
Yeah, it's awesome, guys. Definitely get one. And I'll make sure I'll pop the link in the show notes. Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa.
See ya. Have a good day.
See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.